Awesome. All right, you guys. So today's training is going to be all about how you guys can predictively scale your real estate business in 2022 using unique sales systems and also lead generation that you guys can either do for yourself or you can have other companies like us or anybody in the marketplace kind of do for you. And so the first half of this is going to be very educational and it's going to be all geared towards what you guys need to be doing or your ISAs need to be doing in order to put you guys in a position so that you can convert and close more business in 2022. Then we're going to go into talking about a couple of different programs that we have to offer so that we can give you guys more opportunity to go and close more business in 2022. And Kelly's got a little caveat for a way that you can actually put a little bit more coin in your pocket on every buyer transaction closing that you guys do. So super important you guys pay attention and stick through the whole training so that you guys can have all of these different all of these different ways that you can help grow your business. So I'm going to go ahead and dive straight into this training for you guys. And Kelly, the slideshow is sharing right now, correct?
It's on the screen. So
Awesome.
we got it.
Sorry, guys, I've got two different monitors, so I get one on one side, one on the other.
and guys, I've opened up the chat bar. While I'm not going to interrupt Brian, if you have a question, I will private message you, and then we'll answer any questions we can at the end. So if you have a question, message it, and we'll go from there. All right, Brian.
Absolutely. So this is a winning strategy for real estate agents based on data and metrics. We are a Be Known advertising company. Leads to ROI is our CRM, our sales system that we utilize to help agents consistently generate new appointments and get conversations flowing in from buyers and sellers, no matter where that lead is coming from. So the data that we got to create this proven system came from the lead response management study by MIT and also the best practices for lead response management by Harvard Business Review. And then we've also had trial and error through 68 years of combined sales experience for all of those that put together this training. Now, I myself, I've spent years in boiler rooms, smiling and dialing, closing business down. And so I'm on average, I was putting in anywhere from 150 to 220 dials every single day, reaching out and prospecting real estate agents to grow their business. And a lot of that information that I'm going to be sharing regarding that is going to directly translate to how you guys will want to work with your buyers and sellers so that you can get the highest level of conversion rates. All right, so the formula for consistently filling your calendar with bookings. Number one, it's having a fresh, steady stream of leads that are coming into your account every single day. We've got a way that we can show you guys that you can generate buyers for under $2 a lead on average. Some markets, it's under $4 a lead. It just depends on how dense your market is and how many agents are advertising there. Number two is having utilizing a proven lead management system so that once you've captured that lead and it's entered your database, we have automated texts, emails, phone calls that are triggering so that you can reach out to them, video text, voicemail drops, all of those good things to make sure that we are following up with that lead in every way that we possibly can. And then following a winning routine for lead management, which is essentially what we have set up inside of Leads to ROI. Now, when it comes to consistently filling your pipeline with fresh quality leads, you need to make sure that you are out there targeting on several different platforms. We highly recommend Facebook because we have seen phenomenal results from the Facebook platform, generating very low cost leads for our agents and giving you guys the opportunity to have more at-bats and more conversations with buyers and sellers. Now, again, a little bit later in this presentation, we're going to go into a platform that we utilize. All of our agents that sign up and use Leads to ROI get this platform as part of signing up. It's just an added bonus so that you can generate a consistent flow of buyers and sellers driving into your system. But this is the very first fundamental ingredient to taking control of your business. So whether you have leads that are coming in from Facebook, whether they're from Google, YouTube, whether you're working with the big box companies like Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, it's important that you have a steady flow of leads coming into your database every single day so that you can start filling up all of your buckets. And when I say buckets, you should have a bucket for buyers, you should have a bucket for sellers, a bucket for FSBOs, and every individual niche that you're looking to work with for clients. And as you're filling those buckets up, you're naturally going to have deals that are going to shake loose and come out of the bottom that are going to turn into commissionable income but you have to consistently follow up and work that database. Now, utilizing a proven lead management system is a second fundamental ingredient for converting more buyers and sellers. As long as it's a properly maintained lead management system that can call, text, email, book appointments, and log notes within, you are in good shape. So this presentation isn't saying you guys need to leave your current brokerage or leave your current CRM and move over, but you need a CRM that can do all of these things at a bare minimum: call, text, email, and book appointments, and be able to log notes within. So very, very important. And when we're talking about notes, I don't just mean somebody's looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that's between 300 and 400,000. I mean meat and potatoes. When you get on that conversation and you start building rapport with that lead, and you find out what their motivations are for making that move. So that way, when you hop on your next call with them, you can break the ice right out of the gate by bringing up one of the small things that you grabbed from that conversation that can be a rapport builder to kick off that next call. So if Timmy's got a softball game or a t-ball game that's coming up this week, the next time you chat with them, be sure to ask them how Timmy's softball game went or t-ball game went, so that way you can lead in, bring their shield and their sword down, and really push for that trust. The last piece of this is following our award-winning routine for lead management. Third fundamental ingredient is utilizing a proven follow-up method that increases lead conversion and creates a consistent flow of conversions, allowing you to calculate your future income and the growth of your business. Now, once you guys have started working with a lead management system and you're about 3 months in with that lead management system, you'll be able to go back through, see how many dials you made every day, how many text messages went out, how many emails went out, but most importantly, how many leads came in, how many of those leads turned into appointments, and how many of those appointments turned into signed agreements. So as long as you can track all of those metrics, that is what you need to be able to calculate what your future incomes are going to look like. So if we have 100 leads that come in every single month, and you're able to get 4 booked appointments out of that, you have a 4% conversion as far as getting the appointment, getting in contact with that lead. And then let's say one of those ends up turning into a signed buyer's agreement. Now we know that every single month we have to make sure that we're getting at least 100 leads flowing into the system with 4 appointments and conversations going, so that we can generate 1 buyer agreement. So that way you can start stacking and saying how much money you need to spend on the next month with your marketing so that you can grow. Now, a follow-up roadmap, this is something that we use internally for ourselves. So the very first step in this, we have triggers. So this is going to be any funnel or any landing page or Facebook ad that this lead came from, right? So the lead is going to funnel in to a workflow. And the very first thing that's going to happen is an opportunity is going to be created. So what this means, it's going to put the lead into a pipeline, and in that pipeline, it's going to have information in there regarding what that particular lead is looking for. Now, the way that we coach for running Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, anything along those lines, is to gather additional information. We don't want you to just get first name, last name, phone number, and email. That's a lead that you don't necessarily have a reason to call on, other than you filled out our form online. And I'm sure if you guys have worked internet leads, if you call and say, hey, I'm reaching out to you because you filled out our form on Facebook, you heard a lot of people say, oh, I didn't fill that out. I filled that out by mistake. Wasn't me. Or no, I'm not interested in anything pertaining to homes, right? So we want to make sure that when you're capturing a lead, you're getting the necessary information that you need to be able to convert that lead into an appointment, and ultimately convert that appointment into a buyer agreement or a listing agreement. So what we recommend with Facebook ads is you need to know how many beds and baths that person is looking for in their next home if it's a buyer side. You also need to know what their time frame to buy is going to be. So if somebody says they're looking to buy now versus 6 to 12 months, you're going to have a little bit more urgency on that lead because you know it's somebody that's looking to purchase right now. So it's imperative for your own psychology to gather that information. The last piece that I would recommend on finding out is what their price range is that they're looking for. So beds and baths, price range on a home, and their time frame to buy. Now, when you're asking these questions through either a Facebook form, Google form, or a landing page, It's going to allow you to kind of differentiate your campaigns and set everything up so that you can have the right follow-up going out at the right time. And I'm going to show you guys a little explanation of why we do this. Well, actually just some kind of proof in the pudding as to why we do this so that you guys can see real numbers and statistics while we're going through this. But let me get that pulled up. I'm doing it on my other screen. So as soon as that lead comes in, the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to create an opportunity so that you know that lead's in a pipeline and they're going to be in either a buyer or seller pipeline. And it's going to be determined based off their time frame and all that kind of good stuff. The next thing that we do is we add a tag to that contact. So this tag gets added immediately. It shows you that it is a buyer lead or it is a seller lead. And then the next step is we actually add in this dynamic call script, and this happens immediately. So what the call script is it's a unique link to that particular contact record that's going to pull information. So if it's a seller lead, it will pull in their address. It will pull in facts and features of their home so that you can ask questions that you already have the answer to and confirm essentially on your call so that it gives you a better opportunity to convert. On the buyer side, it's going to add in their number of beds, baths, the price range that they were looking to purchase within, and the time frame to move so that you can use that information in your call script. But I've got this pulled up. This is to show you guys how important it is to separate out your campaigns based off of those time frames that those buyers are coming in on. Now, if we take a look at this, you can see that the A campaign, this is anybody that said they wanted to buy now within the next 3 months, right? So we had 910 total leads come through on this campaign. Of those 910, 616 of those leads actually responded and started a conversation with the agent from that follow-up, which is a 67.69% reply rate. Kelly, how often do you see this kind of a reply rate in any of the marketing that you've done outside of Leads to ROI?
Well, I will tell you, without naming the other CRM that I have, I don't get anywhere near that. And we tested the CRM that I currently have, and a lot of, there are times that it goes to promotions or spam, right? That's a death knell for marketing via email and text. So yeah, I don't get those results. And quite frankly, the CRM that I have, I don't even have the ability to track it like this. That's why as a business owner, if we can't track what we're doing, and if we can't put a quantitative number to what our marketing is doing, it's like we're a hamster on that wheel. We're just kind of spinning around. So yeah, I don't get those kind of numbers with the other system that I have.
Definitely. And just so you guys know, this is taking a little time to load these first ones, but I'm going to scroll down and show these off. So you guys can see email number 4 went out, 41.67% open rate, right? So we give analytics on each of the emails, each of the text messages that come through the platform so that we can really refine these campaigns and make sure that we are delivering to the level that we need to deliver so you guys can see success.
So Brian, one of the things that I wanted to say and caveat to that, can you guys imagine creating a drip email campaign and you're able to go in and see, let's say you set up a 20 drip email or a 12 drip email campaign for a buyer or a seller or a FSBO. Can you imagine going in and finding out which of those emails, the rate that they get opened? That's going to tell you whether you need to start making some fundamental changes, maybe in the message of the emails that are not getting opened. That's the kind of reporting that the top tier agents are getting, tweaking, and then throwing out there to get a much higher return for their conversion. So that to me is a very powerful aspect of how we run our business, knowing what message is working with the market, and the ones that aren't, we kick them out.
Absolutely. And you guys, so the B leads on here are going to be 3 to 6 months. And see, we've had 412 leads enter this pool that came in saying they were 3 to 6 months out from purchasing, 52% response rate. And then the C leads are 6 months to a year or beyond. So these are going to be 6 months and beyond. 445 leads have entered into here with 47.42% response rate. So that's just to show you guys a little bit of the power. If you have a campaign that's set up to send out to your leads based off of the time frame that they provided to you. So if they say now in 3 months, you want to hit them fast and heavy. You want to be following up with them regularly so that you have the best shot of winning that lead and converting them. It's almost a 70%. It's almost 70% now that a buyer is going to actually work with the very first agent that they speak with. So that's why speed to lead is so important. I can tell you guys, I learned this while I was working for Zillow. I spent just over 3 years working at Zillow and piloted several programs, helped launch the concierge team that they have. And one of the things I can tell you is that when our team was calling within 2 minutes of those leads hitting our database, we had the highest level of conversion on those leads. And if we followed up with them 6 times or more, there was a 90% chance of those leads actually moving a little bit further down the line in that conversation or booking an appointment. And we'll get into that data here in the slideshow. So that dynamic call script is going to load up for you guys. You're going to get information like the bets, BAS, the price range, their address, if there's any info on their home. We also have this directly tied in with our FSBO canceled expired software. So the FSBO canceled expired withdrawals move into the database. Their home information, as long as it's available, is going to pre-populate in scripts as well. You'll also receive an internal notification that you've gotten a new lead so that you or someone on your team can jump on that and start calling immediately. And then the system preps for a manual call. Now, what a manual call action is, and I'm going to show you guys on this account again, because I'm going to share this particular client's account. What a manual call action is, it's going to be just loading your leads up into a call queue. And all you have to do is click let's start, and it's going to call the very first lead. It's going to open the contact record up. It will call the lead. You'll be able to dispossession the lead right out of the gate, so that you can say whether they are, whether it was a good lead, a bad lead, anything along those lines. If you need to book an appointment, you can book an appointment right here just by clicking add new, or you can drive directly into your notes section and add a new note on that particular contact record. So it gives you the opportunity to have just a call queue so that you can call down the list. There is another option that you guys could utilize on here where the system will actually call you as soon as a lead comes in. You simply press 1. It's going to say, hey, you have a new lead, John Smith. Press 1 to connect, and it will say the lead's name. You press 1, and then it goes ahead and calls that lead for you. Excuse me, I had to cough. Next thing that's going to happen, we're going to send out a series of text messages and emails over the next couple of days, giving you guys the best opportunity to go ahead and convert those. Now, your follow-up roadmap. This is going to include texts, calls, emails, and it's all of our campaigns continue for more than 20 days, and some campaigns have over a year of follow-up, depending on the lead's indicated purchase time frame or their sale time frame of when they want to be out of their current house. And of course, these are this is actually, we've got higher numbers on this now, but this is what I showed you guys just a moment ago for the reply rates. Just about a month ago when I built this slide deck, we were at 64%. Now we're at 67%. So we've been fine tuning those texts and emails that are going out so that we can increase that those percentages. And we've done that consistently over time. So I want to break down with you guys what the best days, times, and how quickly you should be following up with your leads so that you guys have the best days and times. If you want to block out time in your schedule, say, hey, I'm going to call my leads every day for an hour, and I'm going to do a block time. All right, so the best days to actually get a lead on the phone and have a conversation are Wednesdays and Thursdays. Those middle of the week days really give us a solid opportunity to go out there, put in a ton of dials, and just fill up our calendars with appointments. Right, the best times that we're looking at, and this is Monday through Friday, is going to be 8 a.m. and it's going to be 8 to roughly 10 a.m. So 8 to 10 is a good 2-hour window when you have a really solid opportunity to get these leads on the phone. And then 4 to 5 p.m. when folks are finishing up their day, getting back on the road, or just walking through their door. This is where we've had the highest level of calls that have been answered, where we've been able to convert those leads into appointments or just begin the conversation so that we can have another follow-up with that lead and have another at-bat opportunity to win them. So here's some very, very interesting statistics on speed to lead, right? So the best time frame to call a lead is within the first 5 minutes of that lead entering your database. Once you capture it, you need to be Johnny on the spot. You need to be calling that lead right away so that you have the best opportunity to convert. Now, your odds of calling to contact a lead decrease by over 10 times in the first hour. So if you're not reaching out in that first 2 to 5 minutes and you're reaching out an hour later, your odds of actually getting them on the phone decrease 10x than they do in that first 5 minutes. So it's extremely important to have that speed to lead. Your odds of calling to qualify a lead decreases by over 6 times in the first hour. So these are two separate metrics. So the first metric is actually getting them on the phone. So it decreases by 10 times getting them on the phone after the first hour. And then actually qualifying that lead, having a quality conversation and moving into an appointment or gathering and fact finding and moving that lead over to your lender, if you need be, actually decreases 6 times over the first hour. So again, you guys, speed to lead is extremely important when it comes to converting internet leads. Think about it. You submit a Facebook lead form, an hour later, maybe you're at the grocery store, you've got your kids with you. Now you're getting a phone call. The best time to get that phone call is when it's fresh on your mind. You've just submitted the form and entered your info because you're thinking about it. It's something that's right here at the forefront of your mind right now. Then the odds of qualifying a lead in 5 minutes versus 30 drops 21 times. And from 5 minutes to 10 minutes, the dial quality odds decrease by 4 times. So again, extremely important. You get a lead, call them as soon as they come in. Now, the sweet spot for converting internet leads is making at least 6 call attempts. Now, this is partially from the Harvard Business Review study, the MIT study, and then also our internal processes that we go through so that we can come up with these numbers. Now, we found that with that study, the study shows that at 6 call attempts, you have roughly a 90% shot of getting in contact with that lead. And that held very, very true in our platform when we were tracking the numbers ourselves for our agents. So most agents that are going to be reaching out to internet leads are going to make 1, maybe 2 calls, and then they're going to let that lead go by the wayside. And this is like clockwork. We see it day in and day out. There's a reason that when I was at Zillow, they launched Premier Agent Concierge, and it was because they didn't have an issue generating the leads of active buyers and sellers that were looking to buy and sell. The issue that they had was that agents don't have enough time to call every single one of those leads and consistently follow up the way that they need to follow up. And that's why Zillow created that Premier Agent Concierge platform, is so that they can have a way to track and measure the results for their agents. So for you guys, think about that. If you're an agent that's making 1 to 2 dials out to your leads, and here it's showing that at 6 calls, you have roughly a 90% chance of getting that lead on the phone. You're literally taking, okay, so let's just say that call takes 30 seconds. You've made 2 dials. If we just calculate 30 seconds out by 6 attempts, that's what, 3 minutes of your life. So 3 minutes of your life additional on every single contact attempting to call them is going to give you an opportunity to convert that lead at a 90% higher chance than you had before. Roughly 80% of agents and sales reps, so this is salespeople and real estate agents alike, stop reaching out to their leads after only 3 contact attempts. Now, knowing that your average buyer today, 70% of the time works with the very first agent that they speak to, give yourselves that extra 3 minutes of time with each client and put in the additional dials to them. It's going to help profitability and drive your bottom line. I promise you. You guys follow up with those leads and work those contacts. All right. What is our proven process? So our unique outreach campaigns include call campaigns. So within 2 minutes of your lead coming in, you can have this set up 2 different ways. One, to where it goes into a manual call reel where it will be an auto dialer system. You press play. It's going to go through 1 lead at a time. Number 2 is going to be setting it up to where the system actually calls you within a 2-minute window of that lead hitting the database. It's going to have a whisper on the other end that's going to say, hey, you just had John Smith reach out to you and is a new lead. This will be the first contact attempt. Press 1 to connect. You press 1 and the system automatically dials that lead right then and there. Gives you an opportunity to get them on the phone. You want to have a minimum of 6 call attempts, and winner chicken dinner. This is because at 6 contact attempts, we have a 90% shot of getting that lead on the phone. Now, you don't want to call them 6 times in a day. I would spread this out over a 2-week period. Give them a little break here and there. Give yourself a little break here and there. And it will also make it a lot more simplistic for managing your follow-up and setting up your block times. Text campaigns are extremely important, especially with COVID-19 and all of the lockdowns that we've had in the last couple of years, and just people's screen times has massively increased. So with that screen time increasing, sending out text messages is a great way to get in contact with your buyers or sellers, as well as emails. Now, we recommend a minimum of 7 touches inside of 20 days, and best practices on these include videos. Now, this isn't a video that says, hey, John Smith, I'm Kelly Wheeler with eXp Realty. I'm giving you a call because I'm the best agent in the marketplace. These videos should be educational and informative, and let your buyers and your sellers know what the path they're going to need to take so that they can either accomplish their goals of purchasing the home that they really want to get in front of, or we can accomplish getting the sales price that they need for their house. So having videos for the seller side around like decluttering, depersonalizing, and just getting that house ready for your average buyer that's on the market to be able to step foot in that house and visualize themselves living there without any of the family photos or anything like that on the wall. Those are all important styles of videos that you should be putting out to help educate potential buyers or sellers. And the easiest way to get those in front of them is through text and email follow-up campaigns, so that you can deliver your message. It's also going to build trust and equity in those contacts so that you have the best opportunity to go and close. Now, email campaigns, we recommend 60 touches over 180 days. Best practices include video. Now, you don't have to have video in all 60 of those emails. I would say 10 of them, and I would sprinkle them throughout the campaign. Have a video that's going to educate and inform them. Use a service like BombBomb or Loom. That way you can quickly just add a GIF of the video. They click the image, and it's going to drive them to a page where they can actually view that video. Save search alerts, extremely important. Now, I recommend everybody to automate this if you have a CRM or a platform that allows you to automate it. KV Core is a really good system for automating guys that save search alerts. I know there's a lot of folks on here that are in EXP, and we do have a very straightforward, streamlined course that can show you guys how to automate your guys' save search alerts based on those beds, baths, price range, and time frame. Also, you want to make sure that you have retarget campaigns that are set up on Facebook, so that once you have a lead that comes in, you're now retargeting them, remarketing them with your message and delivering educational value to those buyers and sellers. Again, building trust and also giving yourself a better opportunity to convert that lead. Social outreach is important. If you have a lead that reaches out to you on Facebook or fills out a form on Facebook and you're having a hard time getting hold of them on the phone, or you're having a hard time getting them to respond to a text or an email, you've got their name. Go and search for them on Facebook and send them a friend request. See if you can get the conversation sparked back up on the platform that they originally reached out to you on, and give yourselves a better opportunity to convert. Now, the next thing is going to be mail campaigns. One of the things that we wanted to make sure that we incorporated into Leads to ROI was a way for you to send out direct mailers to buyers and sellers, or potential buyers and sellers. And so we recommend this primarily on the seller side. That's where we've seen the best results and the highest level of traction. You have somebody that fills out a home valuation request, send them out a direct mailer and put them on a drip, so that you're sending a direct mailer that goes out and get one piece of mail gets there this week, have another piece of mail that gets there the following week, follow up with them a minimum of 4 times with direct mail, and a couple of different unique selling propositions to give yourself a better opportunity for that lead to contact you. And then lastly, ensure that every call is followed up with a text and an email. Extremely important. Now, our system does this automatically. Every time we have a call that's logged, for you to reach out and contact that lead, or for the system to call you, you press 1, it calls the lead. There's a text and an email that goes out after that, so that we can have the best opportunity at converting those leads. Now, I want to share some follow-up statistics with you guys, because I know there's a lot of agents out there that will get started, with a follow-up program, but we'll end up giving up on it. And it's one of those things that we need to make sure that, number one, we have very thick skin when we're making calls out to these leads. You have no idea what this individual's day is like, what's happened to them, or how their day is going. So in a lot of cases, you can get somebody on the phone and they may be very angry with you, right? And that's something that can really change your mindset when you're going through your calls and you're making dials. So one thing that I've always done, like I've consistently making 120 to 200 dials a day. If I didn't have somebody that told me to F off that day, or to fly a kite, or to go catch a fish, or said something very rude to me, I didn't feel I was doing my job. As soon as I got that negative response, and I got that mean client, or that mean person that I was calling out of the way, it was go time for me. Now my blood was going. It's time to go knock these out of the park. Because you're going to get a hold of somebody, and maybe they missed their bus this morning and they were late to work. And so now you're getting on the phone with them. They've already had a rough start to their day. They feel like, oh, hey, this is some telemarketer or an agent that's just reaching back out to me trying to gain my business. And they may be rude to you. It's going to happen. You have to shrug those off, move on to the next call, and just keep dialing. And that's something that is really going to speak true in these statistics. So only 2% of cold calls result in an appointment, you guys. So that means if you're making 100 dials, and this is any lead that you guys get from the internet, until you've met them and had a conversation with them, they are a cold lead. So that's why I'm putting in cold call statistics for you guys, because any lead that comes in from the internet is technically a cold lead. So only 2% of those cold calls will result in an appointment. So that means 2 out of 100 dials that you put in on a given day can result in an appointment. In most cases, with it coming from Facebook, if you guys are following up within 2 minutes, you should be looking more between 4 and 6% of those being able to convert into an appointment out of 100. But this is strictly cold statistics. Agents have to dial 6 or more times on average to connect with a prospect. This goes back to that 90% call answer rate if you're dialing 6 times or more. Agents who believe that cold calling is no longer effective experience 42% less growth than those who believe otherwise. You guys are going to have a ton of gurus out there that are going to tell you, stop cold calling, stop following up with your leads via call, do this or do that. It's just a gimmick to get you into their program. I mean, honestly, there are ways that you guys can go out and cultivate business without calling or working those leads. But the proof is in the pudding, you guys. 42% less growth for those who don't call their leads and actually have a call campaign as part of their follow-up with their leads. 42% less growth. So give your guys the opportunity to convert more, close more, block out some time, and just make the dials. You guys will thank me later. Agents who have prioritized lists of prospects are 19% more likely to call leads within 5 minutes and 26% more likely to call leads within an hour. Now, when we're talking about a prioritized list of prospects, you guys should be utilizing your databases in several different ways to prioritize your prospecting lists. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of just examples really fast. So this is a smart list that are designated out based off of the type of lead that's coming in. So you can see these are for sale by owners. And so all of these leads are FSBO leads. You can see that we have the number of beds, number of baths, and the price that they have their home listed all here, so that agents can quickly see whether or not, hey, I don't want to work with anything that's under 200,000. This is 135,000. I'm going to shell this lead out, but I'm going to call this 219. Gives you guys the opportunity to utilize your list and be able to go through, cherry pick who you want to reach out to, who you don't want to reach out to. But then also it gives you leverage, right? So Kelly and I do 2 live trainings every single week. And last week, Kelly did a phenomenal training on offers that agents should be presenting for either winning more buyers or winning more sellers. And one of the unique selling propositions that he uses is being able to give a buyer a list of homes that aren't going to be on the MLS and that other agents aren't going to show them. And winner, chicken dinner, you guys, that is going to be a for sale by owner list. So we have for sale by owners driving directly into the platform. These for sale by owners can be a list that could be used for a buyer, showing them potential homes that agents won't. Now, all you have to do is call that FSBO, say, hey, is it okay if I bring a buyer through, and are you willing to pay a commission? If they're willing to pay a commission, go show the house and go close the deal. On the buyer side, one thing that you guys absolutely should be doing on the buyer side is organizing your list of buyers based off of the number of beds and baths that they're looking for in their next home, right? So this way, if you're going into a listing presentation, and let's just say, for example, you have somebody that has a, let's just say, a 4-bed, 3-bath home, and you want to say, hey, I've got this specific list of buyers that are looking for a home just like yours. You can go and show them 20 buyers right here that are looking for a 4-bed, 3-bath home, as a way to say, hey, the first step that I'm going to do is send your home out to our database and give you guys the opportunity to give my current buyers the opportunity to come and view your home and see if they can purchase that, or if they want to purchase it right out of the gate. So you can leverage your own database as a way to go out and close more business. So prioritize list of prospect, 19% more likely to call leads within 5 minutes, 26% more likely to make a call within the first hour. So staying organized in your database is important. 7.5 minutes is the average length of a call that successfully moves to the next stage or meeting. So if you guys are taking these calls, you're gathering all the information, just trying to rush off of it, more than likely, they're not going to show up to that meeting. You want to make sure that you're building rapport, learning from that lead as to what they're looking for, what their wants and needs are, what their motivating factor is that's making the move. An easy way to do that is LP Mama. If anybody's never heard of it, write it down, LPMAMA, write it down top to bottom. The L for LP Mama is for location. Is there any particular location that you're looking to move to? Awesome. What's driving you to that location? I always ask a second question on this, recommend asking a second question, so you can begin to peel the onion and gather more information from your buyers and your sellers when you're on the phone. So is there any particular reason that you're moving that location? You find out it's school district. Awesome. Now we know there's kids in the house, and now we can ask questions about those kids to build more rapport and gain more trust from that lead. Number 2 is going to be price. Have you looks like you filled out this Facebook form saying that you're between 300 and 400,000 on your new home. Let me ask you, is that because it's what fits in your particular budget, or what got you to that price point? What drove you to say this is the price that I want to spend? So that way you can dive more into the price. After location, it's going to be after price, it's going to be motivation. What is motivating you to make this move? So we may have figured this out from the location aspect, if their kids are, going to a particular school district or something along those lines. But this gives you an additional question to kind of peel the onion, learn more about that lead, and build more rapport, right? The first A is going to be agent, right? Now you can ask this in quite a few different ways. What I found though is if you just ask the question, are you working with an agent? There's 1.7 million realtors out there, real estate agents out there. Everybody's got a friend, family member, mother-in-law that's a real estate agent. So if you just ask the question as, are you currently working with an agent? More than likely, they're going to respond yes, because they know one. So what I would ask is, do you currently have a signed agreement with a realtor? And if they say no, you're 100% in line with code of ethics, go after it, get that deal. After we've gone through the agent, the next question is mortgage. Have you done anything to get it pre-approved? What steps have you taken with the pre-approval process? Do you have a pre-approval letter? Let's find out. Okay, awesome. If we need to dive into how much home they can afford, we can then set this up for an appointment to refer it off to a lender. All right, and the last A is going to be appointment. So once you've gone through the location, the price, the motivation, whether they're working with an agent, their mortgage, now it's time to schedule the appointment. And you guys should be scheduling the appointment if they haven't started the pre-approval process with a lender. If they have already started the pre-approval process, I would just go and take them out on a tour and show them a house so you can meet them face to face and start building that rapport right out of the gate. But you can't do all of that unless your call is at least 7.5 minutes long. 93% of your potential success of your follow-up call is going to be attributed to the tone of voice during the conversation. So a couple of sales tactics or techniques that I would throw out there for you guys. Number one is going to be match talking. Match talking and mirroring are extremely important. If you're face to face with somebody and they're lean back when you're having a conversation with them. If they lean forward, lean forward. Now, the way that you do this over the phone is going to be a little bit different. So let's say you give somebody a call and you say, hey, James, I saw that you just reached out to us on Facebook. You're looking at homes that are 3 beds, 2 baths, between 300, 400,000. You want to move within the next 1 to 3 months. Is that correct? And if they respond, well, yeah, that is actually correct. That means listen to their cadence, listen to how quickly they speak, listen to their tone. Are they excited? Are they bored? Mimic and match talk and mirror that the way that they're speaking. It's going to resonate with them at a much higher level, and it's going to give you an opportunity to convert that lead in a better in a better fashion. So if they're upbeat, they're fast paced, you go upbeat, you go fast paced. If they're slow and monotonous, go slow and monotonous. So mirror and match talk that. It's going to give you a much better opportunity of converting. Stating the reason for your call is going to boost your success by 2.1 times. So that's something you should always make sure that you state a reason for your call. A good one, if you're reaching out, say you're reaching out to a lead and you know they've submitted a form on Facebook, I always tell people, hey, I know I'm calling you out of the blue, so I'm going to be brief. That's literally my reason. I'm calling out of the blue. I'm going to be brief. And then I go into, I'm calling because da, 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 da. But prefacing your reason, it's not the reason, but prefacing your reason, but I know I'm calling out of the blue, so I'll be brief, gives them, most people will stay on that phone call when you say that. I know I'm calling out of the blue, but I'm going to be brief with you. The reason I'm calling is X, Y, and Z. It's going to give you a better shot out of the gate. So I'd recommend prefacing your guys' reason with calling out of the blue, and you'll keep it brief. Now, every single day, if you guys are setting up a call block time, I always like to get the marbles out of my mouth first and foremost with my current existing leads or follow-ups that I'm doing. So I start every day out that I'm making dials by calling my follow-ups. So that way I can start formulating my pitch, getting my flow going, getting all the juices going that need to be going for the day. And that way, if I can get my lips warmed up and get everything ready to rock and roll so that I'm speaking fluently for my most important cold calls that I'm going to be reaching out to. So I recommend going after your guys' follow-ups for your first call in the day. If you're setting up block times, it's extremely important to really get your guys' verbiage on point and get yourself in a space where you can go and close more business. And then lastly, use their name throughout the call. If they use their professional credentials, use them. So if it's a doctor, if it's an attorney, if it's another realtor, make sure that you guys are using professional credentials. It's really going to help you guys gain some momentum in that call. Now, this is just a portion of the slide where we cover a bunch of reviews that we have that come in from clients. What I'm actually going to do at this point in time is cancel out this my screen share, and I'm going to let Kelly take over. He's got a brief presentation he's going to share with you guys on how you can make a little bit more money on every single transaction that you do with a buyer going through 2022. So Kelly, take it away.
All right, go ahead and unshare your screen. Let's go back to the normal, guys. So at this point, what Brian did was kind of laid a master's thesis of how we should be operating our business. I was talking to an agent today, and we were trying to make some course corrections with his business, and he was scatterbrained. He was all over the place. He was buying this program and that program and this program, and then he was attending this, and he was being told to door knock, and then he was going to go sit in some, right? He was all over the place. But when we started to get into the actual physical reality of how you run the business, he was lost. And I know for a fact, because I get those calls during the day, that without a plan, and Brian, how did that go? When we fail to plan, we plan to fail, right? So it's January of 2022. We now have time to take control of our business in 2022. And it starts by making little changes over time to affect big change. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And I wanted you to hear from Brian's perspective because of his experience both with Zillow and as a marketer and the developer of a pretty powerful CRM. I wanted you to hear from his perspective what the successful agents that he deals with. And guys, he's dealing with agents that do tens of millions of dollars a year. There's a reason why they do that. They've got systems in play and they are practicing what they preach. And at the end of the day, they don't veer off. They stick with what's working. So Brian, thank you for sharing that. I wanted that to happen. Now, what I want to do, guys, is I want to share something with you that we've recently gotten into. And no, it's not, we're not going to talk direct mail. We're not going to talk about listings to leads. We're not going to talk about MyPlus leads. I'm going to share something fresh off the bakery, if you will. And I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions. So let's do this. I'm going to open up the chat bar. I'm going to ask everybody a couple questions, and I want you to be totally honest with me, because this is gonna really kind of show me where we are at collectively. First question: do you guys, when you work with a buyer and you close the buyer, do you get any additional income from that transaction outside of your commission? Just put yes or no. And do it quickly, because I want to go quick. I don't want to be too long on this. Okay, we've already got our first no. Just keep dropping them, guys, on the chat. Open up the chat. Yes or no. Do you receive additional income from your hard labor at closing? Yes or no. Second question: does the current lender you're working with, and some of you might have an awesome lender. I know for a fact, and Brian, I talk with dozens of agents a month. The lending side of our real estate business with buyers transactions is one of those things that you got to get right, because if you don't, it affects your bottom line. So here's the question: does your current lender, yes or no, provide you with pre-approved buyers? Like, they go out and find the buyer, they get them approved, not qualified, but approved. And they say, Jim, Nancy, Sebastian, Brian, Kelly, here is a buyer. They are ready to buy. Does your current lender give you that monthly? Yes or no? Fantastic. That's what I thought. So let me share with you. And guys, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to provoke you. I'm not going to try and convince you to do what I'm doing. I'm going to share it with you. And then I want you to think about what I'm going to share with you, because some of you, this is going to provoke the heck out of you. So a couple months ago, I started hearing about me. There you go. A couple months ago, I started hearing about this new lending program. Now, I have a lender. Brian, you're on this screen. So if you see me going here, it's because your beautiful face is there. I have a lender right now. Okay. I like my lender. I don't love them. I like them. Right. But I don't get any of that. They never come in and say, hey, Kelly, just for the heck of it, I got a pre-approved buyer, go and work it. Hey, Kelly, we're closing tomorrow. Make sure you get with us, because there's an additional $500 you're going to make on this deal above and beyond your normal commission. I've never had that conversation. And quite frankly, I shouldn't, because that is illegal. That's not RESPA, right? So I've never heard this model preached and taught before, because nobody figured out how to do it and make it compliant until this company that was literally shown to me in the last couple of weeks. They figured it out. They spent time with their lawyers and they figured this thing out. So I want to share with you guys an opportunity for your businesses in 2022 to create some additional income just by doing what you're doing today, right? Continue to work with buyers, continue closing those buyers. So I'm going to share my screen, and guys, I am recording this, but you want to pay attention for the next 10 minutes, because this is going to be eye-opening for some of you guys. So there is a company, and I'm going to call it a hybrid company. Brian, can you see this, Brian? Can you let me know? Yes, sir. Okay. So there's a company called Turbo Mortgage. They are in all 50 states. I got the opportunity to meet one of the lending officers for the company. When I joined, they basically hooked me up with my own lending team. And I said, team, I know I'm on green screen, so you probably can't see this. Yeah, I don't think you can see this. All right. So I have a team of 5 lenders. There's the main lender and his support staff. So in this model, I've got a junior processor, I've got a production manager, I've got an application coordinator, a processing manager, and a Zoom specialist, all on my team. And if I have an issue, I reach out to them. Guys, they get on a Zoom with me. and we talk about the issue. They give me marketing tools that I can use right now to attract buyers, right? So on the mortgage side, the mortgage company, I love them just for what their proactive nature is. They're problem solvers, and they've opened up the access for me in my state, and every state's different, but they've opened up access for me to offer more down payment assistance programs. They are well-versed with over 175 down payment assistance programs that might make the difference for buyers you're working with. And they make sure those buyers have access when they plug in the numbers. They have programs for business owners where they can get a loan, you know, and maybe they didn't claim everything for tax purposes, right? A lot of these guys can't get mortgages because it looks like they don't make enough money. Well, they've got programs for these guys. They've got, in my state, they've got FHA programs down to 500. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to be pushing to get bad credit people. What I'm saying is they have solutions for my business for just about every client that I would go after. But here's the thing. The owner of that mortgage company started thinking about how he could scale it, like eXp Realty, right? When eXp Realty hit, it was a completely different model. Some of you might be with Real. Some of you might be with other companies that have come up since eXp that offer opportunities to make more income outside of listing a home or working with a buyer. So he sat with the attorneys. He wanted to be RESPA compliant. So what they did was they created a lead generation company. It's a marketing and lead generation company called Premier Turbo Team. And so here's how it works. As an agent, I send my buyer to the franchise, to the Premier Turbo Marketing Company. They then refer that buyer to the mortgage company, who then gets that buyer approved. When that buyer is approved, they send it back to me, and I love this. They send me an email. They copy the buyer on it. It's a video email with the pre-approval letter, and now I'm off and running. I go and close the deal. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. When I close that deal, and let's say I'm looking at a $300,000 house at 3% buyer agent commission. That's a $9,000 check at closing, less fees, right? Depending on what broker you're with. But in my dashboard, since I'm now an agent owner of this franchise, I didn't have to leave my real estate company. I'm not joining another real estate company. I'm partaking as an agent owner. Since I have my own dashboard, I get a monthly revenue share check, and I get a $500 payout for every buyer that I physically close. So if I close 5 buyers this year, I like working with listings, but if I close 5, there's $2,500 I get in my account, and I get it monthly, depending on the closings that I have. But here's where the differentiation is. Guys, back in the day, since I'm a part of eXp, I wish I would have joined eXp when there was 1,000 agents, right? Because I would have been able to build a massive business at the beginning, because agents were just flocking to the company, right? A lot of us probably that are in eXp wish we could have joined way back then, because our rev share would be much higher than what it is now. But eXp gave us the ability to build a revenue share portion of our business independent of selling a home or working with a buyer. So what the franchise model did was said, look, for every buyer you close, we're going to give you $500 as a marketing fee. As an agent owner, you're now legally, according to RESPA, it's all done. You get $500. But if you go out and you just tell other agents about our program, how they can make more money per closing, if they decide to become an agent owner with the franchise model, we're going to pay them $500 on every closing. And every time they close on your line 1, you make an additional $175 in perpetuity. So every time that agent closes a deal, I'm going to make an additional $175 monthly in my dashboard, right? And they allow me to build this 4 levels. So if I bring Brian and say, hey, Brian, check out this mortgage company. There's some things they're offering you're not getting where you're at. Brian says, oh my God, this is awesome. He joins. Then Brian goes out and he talks to, who's with me still? Let me just check on my participant. Brian talks to Stephanie. Stephanie, hey, Stephanie, you need to check this company out. And Stephanie's like, oh, God, I love this, right? Let me jump into this thing. Where am I at? Let me quit sharing for a minute. There we go. Stephanie says, hey, I want to join. Now, when Stephanie closes a deal, Brian's going to make something and I'm going to make something down 4 levels, right? That's not the only thing that got me excited. That was one of the big things that got me excited. But let's say, guys, that Brian joins and Stephanie joins and they love this company, but they decide to move to a different real estate company, right? In my current brokerage, if Brian is a rev share partner underneath me and he leaves and goes to Acme Realty Company, I no longer make any money on Brian's production, right? That's just the way it is. But in this scenario, if Brian decides to go over here to Acme Real Estate Company, but he continues working with Premier, I still get paid in perpetuity. As long as he's with the program, it doesn't matter what broker he goes with, I get to keep him on my revenue share portion of the program. So one more thing, guys, and this is the thing that really sealed the deal for me. I'm going back to the, and I think you guys already answered it. The thing that I loved about the company is their ability, based on my team's production, to give me pre-approved buyers, right? So let's talk real quickly about the pre-approved buyers. Every 12 deals, they give you a pre-approved buyer. Now, it's not just based on my production. So if I build a team, and let me bring this, Brian, tell me if you can see this Word doc. Can you see this Word doc? You're on mute, Brian. Take yourself off mute.
You're not sharing your screen right now.
Okay, guys, I want you to see this right here. Can you see that Word doc? Yes or no?
There we go. Yep.
Okay, so if I come over here, let me go here. You see this, Brian?
Yep.
Okay, so guys, on the revenue share portion, if I go out and talk to 25 agents and say, hey, do you want to make an additional 500? Do you want to go ahead and get pre-approved buyers handed to you that the company will spend their dollars to find and hand them to you, and then have the ability to get a rep? Yeah, if I go get 25 and those 25 get 2, and those 2 get 1, and those 1 get 1, I'm going to have a team of 175 agents, right? So check this out. If each of these agents go out and just do 7 deals a year, like they normally would do. So if I take 175 times 7, that's 1,225 deals. 175 times 7, 1,225 divided by 12. Theoretically, because my team is producing all of these closings, I could theoretically be handed 102 buyers approved, ready to go. Theoretically. And then what can I do? Well, I can't work with 102 buyers. And to be honest with you, I don't want to, right? So what can I do? I can start to bring in some buyer agents, start having conversations with agents locally or in other states. Because I'm with EXP, I can put anybody on my team. I've got agents on my team right now in about 7 different states, right? I can start a conversation, say, look, if you want to join my team, I'm going to start, right? Referral fee, hand them pre-approved buyers, right? What you do with it is what you do with it. But the point is, when you start to get a hold of this, where you can now add to your current business, you literally are in a scenario where on every 12 deal, the company is going to go out and start marketing to find an approved buyer for you. And you handle as many as you want. And then you tell them, I'm done, go ahead. And I've got an agent and I need you to find me a buyer over in Atlanta, Georgia, right? Hey, Cheryl, Kelly here, got you a pre-approved buyer, right? Can y'all see this? None of this do I get with my current mortgage setup, right? My current mortgage company that I use, I give them a buyer to get pre-approved. And then in a couple of days, they get back with me and say yes or no, right? And then I start working, then I close the deal, and then I repeat this. This is a brand new model that just got launched. There's literally 300 agents, I believe, at this point. This thing's going to explode in the next 12 months. I caught this vision on this thing when I saw it, because I'm all about building multiple streams of income. I don't want to just list a home, which I have listings, and I don't want to just work with buyers because I'm only as good as those things, right? So I look for avenues in my real estate business like a broker does. How can I increase my cash flow outside of just listing and working with buyers, which I currently do? And this is one of those things, guys, that you can add to your current method of business. So Brian, you're still with me, right?
Absolutely.
Why don't you then, and we'll open up this for questions. We're almost at 1 hour, so I want to be cognizant. We still got
I do
15.
want to cover a couple more things on this before we do open up for questions.
Okay.
So we are running a beta right now, and we have a team of ISAs that calls leads on the buyer side for our agents and sets up appointments. Now, Jim Neal is a member of Leads to ROI. He signed up for Premier Turbo Leads last week, and we started calling on his leads on Friday. So I'm calling Friday and today. Jim, how many appointments do we have booked for you so far? How many leads do we have that we've pushed over to the Premier Turbo side so that we can get them into the pre-approval process?
Got 4 appointments booked and we pushed over, I think, 5 altogether. And that's just from generating somewhere around 55 leads in 3 days.
What was your average cost per lead on that?
Average cost for leads about $2.20.
That's awesome. So you guys,
Macaroni.
we just started calling on Jim's leads on Friday. Friday, we were able to book a handful of appointments. Today, we booked a couple of appointments. Our callers don't work on the weekends. We got to give them some time off, but they call Monday through Friday. So Jim was the first person we brought into the beta program. So if you guys like what you're seeing and what you're hearing on this meeting, we do have an offer with Leads to ROI Premier Turbo team, where we will actually, by you guys joining our world-class marketing suite for real estate agents and proven sales systems, we are actually going to call your guys' Premier Turbo team leads for you and drive your
Buyer
buyers
leads.
over to get pre-approved with a lender. So I'm going to let you guys chat with our salesperson around pricing and all of that kind of stuff. But I did also send an appointment link through here. Leads to ROI starts anywhere from $197. It goes up to $500 a month, depending on what package you guys jump in on. But you guys can go ahead and click this link and schedule an appointment with someone from our sales team, and they will be able to answer all of your guys' questions and get the ball moving. It looks like Tammy just came off of mute. So
Hi, Brian. How are you? Yeah, I had a bunch of questions in a summary of what I thought that I was getting. So it sounded to me like you have a CRM built into there for us that sends out the text messages, right? But in order to send out video messages, we need to add BombBomb to it. Is that right? Or
So it doesn't necessarily have to be BombBomb. We just recommend that platform because it gives you a GIF that you can input. We personally, for ourselves, we use Loom. It's $10 a month per user,
And they have a free version if you don't mind their branding.
And you can only do 25 videos with the free version, but most agents, that 25 videos is all you guys are going to need for your follow-up campaigns that you would set up in the system. But Leads to ROI is, I've looked at Chime, Sync, KV Core, Boomtown. I mean, I've done courses on all these different CRMs on how to use them and get the most out of them. Leads to ROI is a complete marketing suite. If you guys are using Calendly, you can get rid of Calendly, or Acuity Scheduler. You can get rid of your scheduling platform. There's a calendar appointment that's built into this. And so you guys can get rid of all of those things, have all of your calendar scheduling done in here. There's a pipeline management system where you can move your leads all the way through your flow and through your pipeline. Then there is also going to be funnels and landing pages. If you guys have ever looked at ClickFunnels, there is an exact clone of ClickFunnels that is built into this for you guys to build out any kind of a sales funnel or anything that you need there. You guys are also going to be able to access workflows that are going to have calls, texts, emails, any kind of follow-up that you guys can imagine that's built into it, including voice drops, and the list just goes on and on and on. One of my favorite pieces, though, is the reputation management tool that's going to allow you to automatically send out review requests for either your Facebook or your Google My Business, so that you can then captivate local shoppers that are searching on Google looking for a real estate agent or looking for homes for sale. By having more reviews on there, it's going to bring you to the top of that search list so that they can find you and reach out to you. So it's an extremely robust platform.
okay, so sorry, because I had a lot of lists. So it sounded, and they also had a dialer in there too.
There's
Right.
an auto dialer that's built into it.
And does that dial, when people are making calls, does it record their calls or does it not record the calls?
So all calls are going to be recorded in the system as long as you select it. We automatically select that out of the gate for your preference. You can change that if you'd like to. And then we link everything up through Twilio. So there are some additional usage charges through Twilio, but it's usually very minimal. For agents that are in the full meal deal, that are getting FSBOs canceled, expires, withdrawals moved into their account every single day with follow-up campaigns, we do recommend for canceleds that you don't automate any kind of a follow-up campaign there. Also with drawings, you should be checking with the MLS to make sure that those properties are not actively listed. That way you're not getting yourself in trouble. But if you are doing that check, making sure the canceled, the expireds are not, and withdrawals are currently not listed, and running those out there. If you're, so let's just say you have 200 leads coming in from there, 100 buyers coming in every month, you'd be looking at roughly $50 a month in usage charges for the calls and the texts. And those are just costs that we have to pass on because it would destroy our profitability. But all your calls, texts, all of that stuff is going to be recorded, logged in the system. And then you guys also get a reporting section. And this is where I really live in our CRM. So let me actually pull up our ISA account really fast so that I can show you guys what reporting looks like. So when we're talking reporting, and this is going to be dummy numbers here, because on this particular account, we aren't running any ads because this is just our ISAs that are calling out. You have actually reporting for your Google ads once it's synced, your Facebook ads once it's synced, you get all of your Facebook reporting. Attribution reports are going to be based off of all of your lead sources. So it's going to help you break down which lead sources are giving you the highest level of conversions. But then call reporting, this is like my realm that I love to live in, right? So you can see this is from December 18th to January 17th. We've had almost 5,000 total calls that were answered, 4,961. You can actually go down this list. You can also filter out your calls based off of time frame and all sorts of other information. So let's say we just wanted to focus on looking at calls that were over 60 seconds long. You can dive in, click the drop down on this, your call recordings right here. So if you guys are a part of Leads to ROI, we do 2 live trainings every week, one on Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST, one on Thursday at 1 o'clock PST. If you guys ever run into objections or issues that you have on a call, or you want us to see, give you some insights on how you could better handle a phone call, all we have to do is hop in, click the play button, listen to the recording, and you're live on coaching. And that's something that's included at all levels of our package, whether you come in at 197 or the 497, you get to join those live trainings. And then we also have support hours Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today it's normally at 11 a.m., but I moved that to 1 because we're live now. But there's a support hour Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Anybody that would like to join has questions about how to use the system or how to better convert. Any question you've got, go ahead and ask away. We've got time set aside to make sure that we can help you guys out and give individual one-on-one help in those group sessions for those that have questions. Agent reporting also dives into things like number of text messages, emails that are sent. Again, this is just a call account, so there aren't going to be emails or texts that are going out from the system, because this is just our team calling on leads for our agents, right?
Hey, Brian Kelly, real quick.
Go
ahead,
for
I gotta run. I got to make one of those calls for appointments. See you guys.
it.
That's Neil, because Neil's what, I had one last question, and that was, what was his total ad spend and which program is he on, is what was my question, because I know it's $2 a lead, but you know, he could have 5,000 leads for all I know.
Hey, Brian, let me have that one. Give me the screen.
Yeah,
Okay,
Because
thank
I
you.
pulled up my listings and leads. So to answer your question, and for those of you watching, I'm going to show you, I'm going to answer his lead cost was roughly $2 a lead or under, and I'm seeing in my end anywhere from 50 cents to $2 a lead. Can you notice all of these things that say buyers, guys? So this is one of the systems that you're going to get inherently inside of the 197. Now, Brian, are we doing the listings and leads on the 197, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so guys, you're going to gain access inside of the CRM if you choose, and you don't have to have all of this. We're just showing you something completely different in 2022 than you had in 2021 that's actually getting results. If you have this CRM that we're talking about with all the goodies, you get this platform, which is about $60 a month now if you go and get listings to leads. And if you follow me, you know I preach on this platform, but I ran a beta test for buyer leads, and all of these were costing me about $1.75 a lead. But look, guys, phone number, email, name, right? And I stopped the ad because I don't have time in my business to work with 35 buyers right now, right? So I did a beta test and I farmed some of these buyers out, but this is the system to answer your question. And let me tell you the other thing. When you come on board with the CRM, we're going to give you a training on how to literally launch a Facebook ad in about 1 minute. Guys, if you've been running Facebook ads and you know how crazy they are to run, there's a software, which I'm not going to show you on this video, but it's inside of this that you literally with one click can launch an ad and it will be approved probably within the hour. And that day you're going to start getting leads coming in. Now, with what we talked about, guys, with the leads to ROI CRM, these leads are going to be dumped into that CRM as soon as they come in. And if you take advantage of what Brian is teaching on with the Turbo, Premier Turbo team, his ISAs are going to be calling your buyer leads, setting these appointments and driving them to fill out your own branded mortgage application. You're not a mortgage lender, but it's a application that has your tracking number on it. And so between you, the agent, and our ISAs, we're going to go ahead and probably get a higher conversion rate to get these applications filled out than what you're currently doing. Let me show you one more thing, because I wasn't able to do this. So part of that revenue share we were talking about, guys, if you notice, I'm probably going to do this year maybe 7 buyers under contract. Half of my buyers come from my listings. If you know what I'm talking about, I get a listing and they're going to buy another home. So I'm probably going to do somewhere between 5 and 7 buyers this year that I have time for. That alone is going to pay me $3,500 because I'm an agent owner with the Premier Turbo team. $3,500, guys, I just broke it down. It's like $300 a month. That's a car payment that I'm not currently getting with my lender, right? So I literally can shift these $3,500 funds over to take care of part of a monthly car payment. But I love this program. If I get 25 agents, and right now I've got 12 in 2 weeks that love this thing. If 25 say, yep, we get it, and they do 7 deals this year, I'm going to make $30,000 this year off of what they sell. And if 25 agents go out and just tell 2 people, 2 agents a piece, now I'm going to make an additional $35,000 on level 2. And if those 50 go out and just tell 1 and so forth down to level 1, I literally, by the end of the summer, can literally have a team of 175 agents literally doing the same thing they're doing today, finding buyers, getting them closed, and then I get paid every month in my dashboard. I'm looking at an income possibility of about $95,000 this year that I would not have in 2021 because I didn't know this existed. Let me give you this disclaimer, because Brian's already shared his starter package where you get a ton more things that you're getting now on your CRM is $197 a month. And for that, if you join the Premier Turbo Team franchise, they're going to call your leads. What Premier does to stay RESPA compliant is we pay them a fee one time, $500. Okay, hear me on this.
500 a year.
Once a year. We pay them $500.
Make sure that's out there.
And yeah, it's annually. And what they do when you join is you get, which you're not going to see because I'm on green screen, but let me see if you can do it real quick. You're going to get something that looks like, guys, forgive me. I'm going to stop the green screen for a minute, which you're going to see my green thing behind me, but I don't care. Okay, there we go. You're going to get something like that, that legally will make you what we call an agent owner of this company. And they back up what they say. If in 90 days after joining, you decide, not for me, they give you your 500 back. The first deal that you close, you get your 500 back in the form of that $500 they give you in closing that deal. So it's, for me, it was the easiest transition to make. What I'm going to say to you guys is Brian dropped a link on here. If you guys want more information without having somebody bang you over the head and force you, because I don't want to work with any agent that feels like they've been forced to do anything. I want to work with agents that want to change 2022 and change what happened in 2021. And I want to work with agents thinking smarter. So grab that link, get on Brian's sales team's calendar, and let them kind of go through and answer any questions you guys have. But like I said, this opportunity is not going to appeal to every agent, but if you catch the vision and just redirect who you're sending your buyer referrals to, guys, you're going to make potentially a nice income this year outside of you listing a home or working with a buyer. So I'm done with that. I'm going to quit sharing the screen. I know we've gone over, guys. So if you need to kick out, make sure you get Brian's link to schedule with his team. Brian, let's open it up for any more questions. I'm willing to say a couple minutes.
Absolutely.
I'm going to quit recording. Let me quit recording though.
No, keep the recording going for a second. I saw
Okay.
Michael had asked a question.
Okay.
I said leads to ROI will replace my listings to leads and mailbox power. So
Good
on our $497 package, we provide a mailbox power account for our agents. If you guys currently have mailbox power, we're not going to charge you any more for it. You can jump in, join Leads to ROI. We'll create a connection between Leads to ROI and Mailbox Power so that you guys can send direct mailers out. The whole goal of this platform is to help agents grow their business. It's not to make as much money as we possibly can off of every agent that joins us. The more success that you guys see, the more you're going to refer us to your friends, the more you're going to let other agents know about it, and the faster we are going to grow. If you currently have a listings to leads, we can simply transition your listings to leads into being under our agency account. We have a different style of account with listings to leads, which gives our team the ability to go in and build ads on our agent's behalf. And we don't charge any additional money for those, you guys. So if you come in on our 197 package, we'll do a couple of ads a month for you. If you guys come in on the 497, it's unlimited. We'll do as many ads as you guys want. There's a form that you fill out. It's very quick. You just tell us what needs to be done. It then tasks our team on a project managing software. Our team goes and builds the ad. As soon as they complete it and mark it completed, you get an email letting you know the ad's been completed. The ad runs through your Facebook profile under your Facebook ads manager. You keep and house all of the data. And that's something I really want to drive home. Any marketing platform that you guys are using out there, if it's through KV Core or one of your CRMs, and they're running the ads through their Facebook ad account, they keep all of the data. You do not. So you want to be able to track your link clicks. You want to be able to track those who land on your landing pages. You want all of that data to be your own so that no matter where you move or what you do, you keep it yours. And that's extremely important to me, is to empower agents and give you guys the ability to keep track, house, and own all of your data. If you guys decide Leads to ROI isn't for you and you want to leave, no problem. Everything's all on your Facebook, your profile. All you have to do is download the CSV, grab your database, and move it wherever you want to go. But I can tell you right now, for the agents that have joined us, we have not seen very many cancels at all over the last year since we launched Leads to ROI. And our live trainings really help our agents find new, unique ways to uncover business and grow and get more closings. So a huge part of it's the live trainings that we do every week. And Kelly's been a big part of those.
So Janet, does this work for someone that does part-time? Absolutely. And let me tell you why it's actually better for you to do this. And not because I'm looking for you to pay us all this big money. Here's why. You're part-time, which means you're even more limited than a full-time agent. You don't have time to develop and launch marketing campaigns. You probably don't have time to make all these phone calls. If you generated 50 to 100 buyer leads this month, how are you at part-time going to handle all of that? So what this does is it redirects your time, talent, energy, and money, and takes what we call your highest dollar productivity is getting in your car and going and getting a buyer under contract or going and listing a home. Your lowest dollar productivity is launching ads, emailing people, calling to try to get them, wherever you need to get them. That is where this would help a part-time agent really shine, because it takes the stuff that you don't have time for that actually pays you the least amount of money in your business and farms it to the CRM and to another production unit. So yeah, definitely something like this. If I were part-time and I knew about this, I would do it, because what I'd like to do is wake up to an email that says we just booked a call with a buyer that's ready to go, right? So I don't have to call the buyer and chase the buyer and email the buyer. I just wake up, there it's in my email, let me go, they're approved. Okay, great. Hey buyer, are you available on Friday? I'm okay, or Saturday. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, definitely part-time people, this will take off a lot of that stuff that you don't have time to do and let you do what you make the most money in doing. And that is going and closing some deals.
And I see another question on here. Stephanie asked, is there additional videos we can watch to gather more info? I mean, absolutely. I mean, every Tuesday and Thursday, as we've said, since July of last year, we've been doing live trainings. So we've got roughly 45 different live trainings that are built in here that just cover different ways that you guys can grow your business, be more profitable, make more money. I can tell you every single one of these is at least an hour long. Some of these trainings are 2 hours long. We are now going back through and adding in about this video so that we can give you guys some ideas to what we were actually covering on each one of these videos. And we're adding that in now. Hindsight being 2020, we wish we would have started at the beginning. Now we've got about 40 videos we've got to go back through and give you guys some highlights on so you know what everything is. But this is over 45 hours worth of training that's all designed to help you guys close and win more business. And if you guys do want to join our live training before you check us out, we're going to have one tomorrow. All you have to do is send me a direct message through this chat, say, add me to the live training. I'll go and tag you in our account. You'll get the emails and the text messages letting you know when we're going live. But what I'd highly recommend, if you have questions and you want to learn more about the platform, is I go ahead and just schedule an appointment on that link. And it's not a call where we're going to be overbearing and try to close you down and handcuff you to the call. It's all about fact finding and discovery, finding out what's going to be best for you. And if you're a good fit for the program, we're going to let you know. If you're not, we'll let you know, and we can always part as friends. So we're not, our sales team isn't going to be trying to club you guys to sign up, but if it's something that you guys see value in, we're helping a lot of agents grow their business, and we'd love to help you too.
What a great call. A lot of you stayed with us, which shocked me because we went an hour and 20 minutes. This is going to be a long video to upload on YouTube. But guys, again, when I shut this video off in a minute, the link will go away. Grab the link and hold on to it or email it to yourself. Get on that call with Brian's team. And because you guys follow me, I wouldn't put you into something that's high pressure. If you ever felt like that, you private message me and the ninja will come out, right? I am more interested in you guys building a big and profitable business this year. And just by making some course corrections in January, by the end of summer, you guys should be really, really, really seeing some massive results in your business just by making some quick changes. So again, private message me, get on Brian's team's calendar, and let's see what we can do to help affect your business this year and get you guys cash flow. Cash flow's king, Brian. When we get closings, we have cash. And you know what? I heard one of my old coaches tell me this one time. He says, you know what, agent, you don't have an income problem. You don't have a bill problem. Most of you think you have a bill problem because you don't have enough to pay the bills. No. You have a cash flow problem. And you know how you solve the cash flow? Go get you a couple closings.
Absolutely. I appreciate everyone tuning in and sticking with us for an hour and 20-minute training course and presentation on the second half. Again, if anybody is interested in learning more about Leads to ROI, just go ahead and click that link. Stephanie and Olive, I'm going to go ahead and add you guys to our live training. I got your messages here, and I copied them over so that I don't forget before the end of the day. Again, our live trainings are Tuesday, 1 o'clock PST, and also Thursday, 1 o'clock PST. I'll get you guys in for a couple of those. These are for our active members that are paid clients with Leads to ROI, but I'll let you guys get your foot in the door so you can see what it looks like and see what we've got to offer inside Leads to ROI. We've got a lot of awesome stuff that we want to help you guys with and help you grow your business. So,
and if you're watching this on YouTube or a social media channel, go ahead and drop me a comment below, or for Brian's channel and my channel. And if you're interested in getting in on these coachings that we do weekly, just drop me an email or drop me your name and email, and I will forward that to Brian, and we will get you in the next available training that we have, just so you can get a backstage pass at some of this content that we give out. Brian, I appreciate you. Appreciate all of you guys that stayed with us. And I'm going to stop recording, and then we'll end